cutting through damp air, spray paint slogans drip down brick walls. I once screamed those lines, now the letters run like mascara tears I can't wipe away. Broken glass crackles under my boots with every step, shattered bottles, shattered convictions. I pass a tattered protest sign smoldering in a trash barrel fire. Its last orange glow paints out across my face. Peregrine flickers in the alley ahead. I freeze. I'm hunted by creatures wearing the skins of my old ideals. Ideological beasts lurking just beyond the streetlights. Read three shapes corner me at the intersection. One slide, spotted felt slick with cunning deception. One proud, a golden mane crackling with righteous rage. One star, ribs jutting with an endless faithless hunger. Each is a twisted reflection of truths I once held sacred. They snarling by the uphill road where a false dawn glimmers. So I turn away from that mirage. Sunrise on the hilltop of cracked sidewalk reveals an open stairway yawning underground. The belly of the city invites me down into its quiet chaos. I step off the curb away from hope's counterfeit light, descending with only my shadow and skepticism for company. I cup alone, ember, a form of hope between my palms. Its faint warmth is all I have to light the path ahead. My silhouette slips beneath the street into the yawning maw of night. This underground path is the only one left, leading deeper into my own wilderness. Halfway to nowhere, I come to entombed in midnight. No cardinal points in sight, only my own footprints circling back. My compass shattered by lies has me reeling blind. I wander through rooms of truths I once believed. Idols turn traitor, their shine just conceit. Bitter cinders of lost dreams still scratch at my throat. No prayer left in my chest. Only curses hissed under breath. I strike a match in my chest. Rebellion floods my veins, spitting out ashes. I taste blood and grin. Chaos cackles inside, impatient to begin. My spine uncrawls from the dust, knuckles itching to break fate's jaw. I torch every lie that caged me. Charlings scatter on the floor. I'm on no more, no masters, no gods. In the lull after chaos, I'm raw but alive. Blood from my knuckle drips, proof I've survived. Sifting wreckage and ash for an ember of truth. In the silence of fame, melody dares to break through. I from scars and broken bars. Each line a lifeline I'm drawing out of the dark. No longer lost, I'm my own compass, pointing the dark. My voice paints the morning in defiant hues across the sky. I step into the light, I create unafraid and alive. Untamed. I said, hey Muse, spit clear, pull files from my drive, extract the wreckage of my life, map every redacted page, every agency slide, every DC slide of hand blockade, disguise this budget fight, cause I ain't stepping blind into the Inferno. They made this trap with my name on the envelope, Seattle skyline burning the rear view, red mist, black banners, Antifa mass, flashbangs like hellfire, previews the blue flag, tyrants called it progress, but they just flipped fascism script, and played that anti-card till they forgot what they stood for, trading prayer hands for middle fingers and Jesus for hashtags. Downtown was a war chant, reverberates, while back east those congressional cowards barricaded the budget floor, said debate was hate, said order was oppression, said due process was a threat to democracy, while cutting disability checks like they were decapitations. The SSA, yo, they executed me in slow motion, mailed my death to a house I hadn't lived in for years. A form let it hit harder than a lawn and Glock. It's turned my meds, froze my wallet and called it compliance. Genocide via Wi-Fi and was sorry for the inconvenience. They claw back dollars I never touched, called it reconciliation, while I slept on sidewalks in a city that once knew my name. And the headlines, smiling suits on a 6 o'clock news, say the system's to reform now. They wear wolfskin ties and laugh like jackals, mouths full of mercy but their eyes signed the order. Coast that was the moment the air went still, felt like a cosmic punch, like truth. I've been handcuffed like the Constitution, like the Constitution itself was laid on a gurney and pulled off life support. Flatline, that's when I knew this ain't just my fight. Prophecy in a city of ash, and I ain't backing down from Hell's Gate. I've already been there. Now I'm marching in with bars and a beat. Let's go! Da-da-da-da-da. They felt crooked over Aurora and Third, Seattle bruised violet under patrol of drones. I walk where the street light ends and the rumor begins. The city took fire but my summers came due. Everyone else on pause, me drafted again, ready for the grind and the grief, both risks at the fate. Muse wake up, memory pull the receipts from my folders, court stamps, denials and ink, line by line where the skyline split at the seams. I figured step from the bus glass, not a hero the witness, coat smelling like rain and carbon said your fear is a trick of light. Keep moving, low hum. I said check my file, the overpayment goes in my sleep. Digits they never pay, digits they say I owe. Garnish and harvest the paper, sight at my throat. Try swallow. The quiet clerk behind tempered glass kept tally. Every plea returned with a reference number. Each mercy deferred to a later that never arrived. Tick, tick. I am not crown a cannon, I am case number and dust. My meds lapse, my rent gone, my post thin, but my lungs still carry a bar that will not quit. Inhale. The witness that listened to fire, I once sent me not a sane and signal a clear tone and static. She saw you slip under and told me to pull you up now. I asked why me? Why this mile, why this midnight? He said because you are alive and the lie hates breath. Because paralysis is the only victory the machine can trust. We turned toward the ramp where the viaduct once stood. A concrete red like scripture chipped and wet. Let us sunk in Mars that leaked out on the curb. I left a second thoughts by the guardrail. Took a step in my back, rose straight like prayer. He moved through the ribs I thought were ruined. Seattle spoke through sirens, a chorus off key. Appropriations on freeze back east. The floor locked, the bay labeled a sin, so nothing can move but decay. My chest remembered the morning shock, a bright light on air. Smiles on screens by the safety net frayed. I felt the stitch rip again and say keep walking. Down in the cut, the crowd of the neither nor turn. Faces that never chose, hands that never risked. They chased a blank banner that ran from them forever. Look away. The witness did not name them holy. Not it's the mercy mercy and justice both pass them by. We cross without a word. The rain hits ash from our shoes. A river of asphalt open, black and slow. Skiff slid out from shadow, or biting oil. The ferryman glass said, not you, not yet, take another way. The witness held my wrist to the risen order above this order. The boatman looked down, the blazing is gazed him. The crowd filed in, leaves and laces in one after another. Raise our anthem past the storm. I breathed under my breath on the night until the dawn is born. I pressed in my mouth, marched through fire while the faithless mourn. I said in my pace, keep time. The ground gave a warning, a groan from the subsoil. A red flare rippled the rain skin of the road. The air shoved hard and my balance went white. I heard curses that sounded like policy memos. I heard prayers that sounded like bounce checks. I heard my own name folded into a docket and dropped. My knees said surrender, my eyes said sleep. But the witness said, look, the gate is near, and the current under the city is older than deceit. Crossed to a road, tundra lined with foul spines. A cold librarian, a statue traced one palm. Said name your harm and leave the rest to time. Keep time, yeah. Yeah, this was the law, beneath the laws that all is said and done. Every oath archived, every breach logged plain. No spin, no screen, only record in return. Rose alleged breathe like slow machines, ink bled blue into the grain of the page. Days like teeth along a gear that never sleeps. The witness pointed where a ring of lamps burned low. There stood the not quite damned, the almost brave souls who spoke clear but were pinned by process. They walked in, measured circles, hands behind backs, voices calm and precise as a bench. Ruling the gaze held steady like a level on stone. One turned and nodded a working face. I knew the kind that shows up before the doors open, back and forms, underarm, bus card, warm in the sleeve. He said this ring holds the ones who refuse to lie, but fellow calendars continuance that stays a clean intent. Trapped in darker haze, I name my dates like bees on wire. March 2nd, 2021, termination posted November 22 denial, confirmed January 10, 2024, relief awarded. And still the lag that kills the payment that never came. A wall scroll lit up with my case thread, direct deposit, change then changed with dark consent field, office visits logged with times and ranky clerks and gray stepped out with carbon hands. They stamped the moments I survived on streets and stacked them neat by the gate. Hands, feet counted, razor line past the cord, and a hum low on the night until the curfew lifts. Walk a shut down heat while the faithless mourn. Hold a bailiff for silence at the temple with a staff. 5/4 across the tiles like water over curb. My pulse matched it in, and the page lights brightened and entered the broker budget's mask of calm. He carried a gavel card from frozen votes, his robe blind rebel motions tabled. He spoke in clauses clean as scalpel said. Debate is closed, the floor stays locked. Appropriation sleep until the signal. The ring exhaled a single tired breath. Not defeat, not plea of facts. Set down like steel laid flat on sawhorses. Yeah. I said my city's running hot on Rumor 3rd Avenue, glazing with police tape glare. Roll a clip with siren glare at 2 a.m. The scribe of civic things scratched that line, and so did 2 entries on tents and tickets and alleys named for saints that forgot the job from the inner arch. A low bell answer, not doom, not grace. A summons to proceed. The witness nodded and the lamps leaned. Before we moved, the clerk of death's return, she weighed my lifeline on a scale of ones and zeros. Benefit versus deficit, mercy against mass. She said breathe and stand where your feet are. Your record holds your song, we'll read a sworn step through and face the engine that feeds this ring. I glanced back once at those careful walker, calm like ballast in a hard current, then forward where the floor felt slight and true. Counted the gate, hand drew a circle in the damp air. Said leave your doubt and fear with me again. Been filled with dates, names, street corners, rates. I set them down in order like tools on cloth. The office's phones and calls on hold. The letter that sent me to an old address. Raise a line past the cord, and I said again on the night until the curfew lifts. Walk the shut down heat while the faithless mourn. Breathe, we pass beneath an arch map with clauses. Where every loophole closed like a jaw, and every promise kept its weight. The hall beyond ran cold, a clean, a tie to tile, a metronome of red lights. Each one waited, it then turned green. At last the witness looked at me and tilted his chin. This is where causes meet, effects without costume. This is where you learn which levers move. I tightened the strap on the bag of proofs, felt the spine unlock one vertebra at a time, and followed the cadence into the next ring. Keep
closed, wide eyes clearing while the room held its breath.
Upstart.
I looked around to learn the ground I stood on, found myself at the lip of a valley of grief, a bowl that gathered an endless uproar. Deep and thick and dim beyond measure, I fixed my sight and the floor gave nothing, no form to name, only weight without face.
Hold.
The guide said descend into the blind world now. I go first and you keep close behind. His color ran pale from what lived below. I said, if you are shaken, how do I stand? You who usually steady my fear. He answered, your red is wrong, that is pity, not dread. The distance is long and the road insists, so he stepped in and drew me after into the outer ring that binds the drop. No wailing there, only breath pulled thin. The air itself trembled with that quiet sorrow, without lash and crowd without blame. Women and men and those with few days. I asked what spirits these could be. He said they missed the key, the door stayed shut. Merit alone was not the past, and those from before the code arrived, praised with clean intent, yet not by rule. For absence is not for crime we stay. We live without lift and want without hope, and I among them count myself low roll. My chest went tight for names I knew, people of weight I had honored in life, now poised in the patience that never ends. I asked, did any leave by strength or favor? He said, when I was new in this place, a mighty one came bearing a sign. He raised the first kin and the obedient, the builder of vessel and the carrier of law, the singer of power and others with them. Earlier than these, none had been drawn out, he said, while our steps kept time through that grove of closely gathered lies. Not far below the crown of the slope, a fire rose and pushed back half the dark, near enough to see an honored circle there. I asked who holds such place apart. He said their names carried weight above, and favor advanced them even here. Hush. A voice ran across the green like a bell. All honor to the eminent maker returned, and 4 great makers came forward. My guide marked the first by the tool in his hand. 3 walked behind in calm accord. They gave him place as if he were lord of craft. They greeted us and my God's mouth warmed, then turned and nodded me in among them, so that I counted 6 among such minds. We moved toward the light and measured talk, speaking of things fit for the hush, matters I keep folded as they kept theirs. We came to the foot of a stronghold noble, 7 high rounds around it. A clear runner ran like a belt of glass. We crossed that course as if it were firm ground. Through 7 doors we entered with the wise and stepped into a bright green field. Faces there were grave and slow, authority set clean in their gaze. Their words were spare and even. We stood aside in a high clear opening, so that all of them were visible, set opposite on the enamel of grass. The mighty spirits were pointed out to me, and seeing them raised me in my own sight. Makers of measure and keepers of skill, the one who taught forms of the world, the one who weighed chance in motion, the one who traced lines and named the bone. The chronicler, the healer, the mapper of stars, the reader of law and the singer of loss, the collector of properties and the honor of proof. I cannot number all who line that long. The theme presses forward and speech falls short. The company of six divided into two. My guide led me out from that quiet court. Back toward air that carried a tremor, and into a reach where nothing shines. Keep time, keep time, keep time.
Unlock one vertebra at a time and follow the cadence into the next ring. Keep time from that first muted ring. We step down into the second, narrower in span and heavier in herd. Here grief grows fangs, here a new gate waited, and beside it a shape set to judge. It wore a belt of cables round its frame, loop on loop for every floor below. Green lights pulsing like hell breath. Each soul that came stood before it bare. Empty pockets full inbox, sleepless eyes. Pay stub, denial letter, unread message. The examiner listened without reply. Fingers on a screen that knew too much, then wrapped another turn around itself. And by that count, sent the life deeper. A queue jam tight in front of that post. Tenant with the voucher in a crumpled hand. Worker with the pink slip folded to a square. Old man with the notice no one had explained. Each intern stepped forward, spoke or could not speak. Heard their line thrown back at them and slid away toward the place assigned. When it saw me near, it broke from its task instead. You with the eyes that do not sleep, you walking into this tier of harm. You better mind who you lean on. A wide door can still be a drop. My guide answered quiet. The one who wrote his path wrote mine beside it. You do not get to edit that line. Go back to your counting. The noise rose before I could breathe. This was not storybook wailing, but the sound of mine makes when it has been stretched too long. No light moved in that chamber, only the rush of voices and vents, slow and fierce as winter water under a bridge. A blind gust drove the spirits without rest. Screams and flyers and ballot mailers spun around them like trash in a storm drain. When they reached a sudden bend in the dark, I heard the shriek of credit pulled, the moan of leases snapped for profit. The curses thrown upward at the good they had traded for a small rush. I learned this ring
holds those who let appetite sit in the driver's chair, chasing thrill or cloud or one more night out while the deeper debts went unpaid. As flocks of birds twist in a cold sky, all turning together at a hint of wind. So that blast carried the souls left and right, high then low, never landing long enough to feel the ground. Remember them like long strings of cranes with tired calls drawn thin across a sick blue dawn. So I saw forms strung out in the murk, hauled along by that hard air. I looked and I knew some of them a band on a club flyer from 1980. Hairspray, grin and borrowed jacket, one of them with my father's eyes caught forever between showtime and crash. I reached but the wind swung him away, his guitar case flapped open, old set list spinning like dry leaves. Near him landlords clutched clipboards, riding the gust that carried rent up and up. Section 8 paper slapping their faces, 20-day promises burning at the edges. Beyond them campaign stabbers and blue lanyards, still clinging to slogans that once felt holy, now stripped to bare commands. Turn outrage, donate, obey. I asked my guide, who are these torn through the gloom? He said some chase bodies, some chase ballots, some chase numbers in an unseen ledger. Most never once asked what it cost the ones below. I felt my own chest dance and my nights came back. Hotel rooms and late calls, my careful patience with couples on the edge, the rush of being chosen. Even when my life was ash on the kitchen counter, I said to him, there are two moving close together in that mess. I need to hear them if the wind will let them near. He said, wait till the blast leans them our way, then call them by the force that drives them. They will come if anything still can. Soon the current bent them toward us, and I lifted my voice through the grit. Tired spirits, if nothing changed, you tighter, come stand with us and speak a while. As birds who hear a known sound tilt their wings toward home, so those two slip from the crowd and cut the foul air. With what will they have left? They settled near enough to see the first spoke traveler through this clogged element. You walked into our weather and did not flinch. You have every right to hate us. We fed the machine that is chewing you now.
If we had a friend in the last court, we would ask him to ease your road, because you felt our ruin and did not smirk. Ask what you want while the wind rests. We will answer as far as this place allows. The land that bore us sits where a brown river drags freight in sawdust and spent lives out through the port into the cold salt. Want that slips quick into a soft heart. Caught him by my smile on a chat screen. Caught him by my hand on his throat in a motel while his own bills waited unread at home. Want that does not know how to stop. Caught me with the way he listened. Really listen. When my own man only counted nights like trophies, it never left us. You can see the end of that one. Pulled us both into one last room, a cheap hallway with thin walls. A husband in the doorway with his face gone blank. There was more red than either of us planned. The one who swung the last blow was down in the frozen tear, waiting with the quiet knives. So she spoke. I stared down at the dirty floor that had seen every kind of bargain. Held my gaze there so long. My guide asked what held me. I answered, I am thinking how small the start looks next to where it lands. How much of my own life I let drift that same way. Late messages from couples on the pier come through. If you are free while my rent sat late, my appeal sat unopened. My mind sat on a balcony rail at 3 in the morning. I turned back to them and said, your story cuts, but tell me back when your sighs still felt sweet. What cracked open the gate between you? How did it first become this? She replied, there is no worse ache than to remember a day of ease when trouble stands this close. You know that, you with the case file hard still. If you want the rude, I will speak as one who cries and answers. One evening to distract ourselves, we scrolled a thread about a man in armor bent under the weight of his own desires. We were alone, no one yet suspected the shape of us. Again and again the chat made our eyes land on each other. You know that look, the one you get when a landlord says, I am so sorry the program cannot cover the increase. And you smile anyway because you cannot lose the roof. The color left our faces slowly. There was one line in that story about a kiss that felt deserved at last. It pushed us both over the same edge. He reached for me, hand shaking like a tenant opening a notice, and our mouths met because there was no room in the room for anything else. The screen and the one who wrote those lines were the messengers that set the match. We did not scroll further that night. While she spoke, the other spirit sobbed so hard that pity tore through my sternum. I felt my knees loosen as if the floor had dropped 3 inches. The day I saw the message about my father buried in a casual post. No call, no letter, just a past tense where a present tense should have lived. The day I found the paper on my apartment door, thin as a dried leaf, yet heavier than any fist. All of it pressed in at once. I folded as if something had cut my strings, fell into that howling air like a body dropping through paperwork. And for a long breath, I did not know if I was still on the safe side of the circle or already counted among them.
My sins came back slow, like a dimmer turned by a tire. Hand pity for those kindred shades that dragged me under till I blacked out. When my head cleared, I saw fresh torment waiting in a ring below. Every way I turn, more ruined souls, new angles of the same old hurt. This was the third circle, where the rain never quits, cold and foul and heavy, always the same. Never ease, never raise, thick drops fell, half slush, half sewage, mixed with hard white stones of frozen death through a sky the color of oldish water. The storm came straight down without rhythm, the ground stank where it landed. Past due mold, mildew, inspired a slow ride you could taste on the tooth, bitter. Over them all crouched a thing with 3 hungry mouths that barked like an animal starved too long. One throat spoke land. One throat spoke landlord, one throat spoke agency, one throat spoke clinic. Each eye glare raw red, each beard slick with ballast got swollen round its hands and dinging claws that raked the souls beneath it. It tore and chewed and flung aside, curled on a muck like dogs in hard weather, using one shivering body to cover another. When that great worm in need saw us walking to the storm edge, it opened all 3 jaws and showed the world its teeth. Every limb on a twitch like a cable under too much load. Then my guide knelt, pressed his palms into the filthy earth, scooped up was stuck there, old foam stamp, full stamp notice, and flung the clotted mess into those throats at once. As a starving cur that barks and snaps for food goes silent when the scrap hits its tongue, caring only to gulp it down. The thunder of its bark dropped to a low grind and swallow for a breath. The souls around us wished they were deaf and could not hear it at all. We walked across them, they lay flattened in the sludge, and my feet met only the illusion of substance there where bodies seemed to be, all stretched out on that reeking floor, except for one who dragged himself up to sit. When he saw us coming, he called out to me, "You walk in these under halls, do you know me? You were shaped before the bottle broke me." I said, "Your suffering smears the old lines, I cannot see your face inside all this. Tell me who you are." Said, "Here in such a foul rain, the worst may be deeper, but I have not yet seen a punishment more revolting." He answered, "Your lassity, that cup brim full of jealousy, spilling over its edge. Tell me when my days were brighter. They call me hog at the table, I never left the plate the way I found it, for the sin of taking without measure. For always saying yes to more, I am stretched here under this downpour. As you see, the weight of it grinds me thin, and I am not alone in this mire. Every soul you see lying here chose the same appetite." I said, "Your ruin cuts me to the quick. Even here I could cry for you, but tell me if you know what will happen to that torn up town where I still leave pieces of myself. Is there any just one living in it? What cracked it open so that neighbors face each other like knives?" He said, "After long slow straining they will come to blood. Those who smell like forest smoke will drive out the others and hurt them on the way. It will not take long. 3 turns of the sun, then the side that holds now will fall. The other will rise, propped up by power, sleeping under a foreign shoreline for a while. That second crew will carry its head high, putting great weight on those that push down. The ones below will grind their teeth under that lotus for the just. You can count them on 2 fingers, no one listens to them. Greed, pride and pride, 3 sparks only, but they lit the whole block." He stopped there and his voice folded in on itself. I said, I need more from you. If there is any breath left, tell me you're the ones who try to do right. The neighbors who stood up, the names that should be carved on stone. Where are the quiet men who helped the ones who brought a meal or spoke up at the meeting? Do they sip the clean cup or choke the same dirt? He answered, "Those you name base and we believe step, a lot deeper still. The crimes took stranger forms and the dark swallowed them further in. If you keep going down, you will meet them yourself. But when you return to the thin, cool air above, speak my name once, that is all I ask. Say that the one who could not stop taking is still pinned under this rain. I will not answer more. His gaze slid sideways, he looked at me only with the corner of his eye, then let his head fall back and sank among the blind heap around him.
Plutus at the Cutter Rock. Tongue full of coin clinks, throat full of old smokes. He tried to name me like a problem, not a person. My God stepped in, calm as statue, cold as record. Peace, curse wolf, eat your own hunger. And the thing folded down, slick with gray, dawn, quiet. We dropped to the fourth ledge, where daylight never invests. Only surplus and deficit, receipts with teeth. Two tides of suits and saints, pushing weight like penance. Forearms like jaws set, backs bent, faces blank. One side yelling, why clutch it, why freeze it, why gate it? The other yelling, why waste it, why bleed it, why stage it? Their burdens were rim map, budget map, blame map. Rolling in circles, grinding, boning the policy does. Ask my God, are these priests, are these senators? Are these the ones who preach care while cutting the rope? He said their minds were warped by measure, so they broke measure. And now the wheel makes them confess with every collision. I saw the pattern, tower to tower, signal to signal. A language of timing, not truth, moving faster than facts. Hands clean in the camera frame, dirty in the ledger, strategic incompetent practice like praying. I kept walking because stopping was the trick, because turning back was the fee they wanted me to pay. They lift you up to break you down. Come on. A mouth full of mercy, a fist full of fine print. Soul eating puppeteers, dressed as hell, fed by delay. It's something I'd rather do to carry on. Yeah, this flesh wound healed, now it's gone. Been down before, but it's nothing new. Just something I'd rather do to stay standing. There I saw Joe Biden with the halo of handlers, smiling through harm. A pocketed legacy heavy with plausible denials. Robert Hurt stamped the fire with no man's softness, shut the door on heat, then called it restraint while the smoke still rose in my throat. Mayor Kez held a map like a shield, every breach turned into a talking point. Pelosi watched the angles, counted doors, kept the script tight. Pramila J. April sent me taxpayer gloss, coercion dressed as care. J. in sleeves, so virtue by weather while my rent climbed like a warning. Bob Ferguson stacked lawsuits like trophies, then let my life stay stuck. Susie Levine lost ledgers in daylight, then called it unforeseeable. August 21, I said Diane on the phone, they told me walk in. September 19, Tom smiled and turned me out, said make an appointment. October 30, I said for you, and the air changed shape. A manager appeared, said you were not underpaid. My father's death arrived late, like mail sent to the wrong decade. And grief had to stand in the hallway with no chair. Even my private hours, my consenting games, my secret relief could not outrun the paperwork swarm that wanted me erased. They lift you up to break you down. Come on. A mouth full of mercy, a fist full of fine print. Soul eating puppeteers, dressed as hell, fed by delay. It's something I'd rather do, carry on. Yeah. This flesh wound healed, now it's gone. Been down before, but it's nothing new. Just something I'd rather do to stay standing. Then fortune spoke, not as lady, but as a spinning excuse. Or will they call neutral, loyal by donors, turned by committee? She shifts the advantage, then shrugs, says you cannot blame a wheel. But I watched hands on the spokes, knuckles white, rings bright. Above the surface, rage fights, rage slogans, bite slogans. Below the surface, the sullen sink, lungs full of mud, words trapped. I saw Seattle in that mind, neighbors split into tribes on cue. Facts turn into fashion, law turn into mood, and still in all that sludge, a few kept me from going under. CC's with hand in the paperwork, Maya marked him in the human part. Yeah. We crossed the rim of the Stygian pool, and the water took no light. Only bubbles of swallowed grief, only hands that never learned peace. Ahead a tower rose, iron frame, burning from inside. A city that locks its gates and calls it safety. My God said keep moving, the deeper core hates witnesses. So I stepped on, carrying my name like a document they could not delete.
my thread's still running. I tell you how before we reached the iron rise, our eyes climbed a tower ahead. 2 signal fires burned there, not for warmth, for coordination. Far off another light answered, too distant to read clean, but close enough to know someone was watching the watchman. I turned to the one who had walked me this far, and asked what language that was, what hands were trading light for light. He said, watch the water. What waits next is already moving, unless the fog hides it. Slow churn. Nothing ever flew faster than the craft that came, cutting the surface like it had a grievance. One handler only, rage doing the rowing. He barked at us as if we were trespassers, if our breath offended policy. My God, answer, you do not own this crossing. You only operated, and only for a moment. The farrier boiled inside himself but took us on, because orders always outdrank temper. The vessel sank lower than it should have, like the weight of truth pressed it down. The water was thick, not water really, a holding slurry built from unspoken fury, resentment that never made the minutes. One shape rose in front of us, coded and unrecognizable, asking who I was to arrive early. I said, I am passing through, not staying. He said, I stay because I burned everything else. I told him your voice gives you away. Even buried like this, I know the type. He reached for the side, clawed like he expected priority access, and was kicked back under with the rest of the animals. My God pulled me close, pressed his forehead to mine, said, good, you see clearly. He lived loud above, fed on titles, mistook volume for virtue. Hear the habit eats him alive. Around us others turned on him, tearing with teeth, each shouting his name like it was a receipt. We left him there and I do not revisit him. Then the noise changed from splashing to lament, and the skyline rose. The city ahead burned from inside, red through iron, not fire. You feel fire that organizes walls like ledgers, gates like statutes, everything reinforced against entry. I said, those towers look permanent. He said, nothing that fears entry is permanent. We reached the moat and the guards came forward, thousands falling from responsibility, still wearing authority. They shouted, who walks living through sealed ground? My God motioned to speak, they demanded he enter alone. Told me to turn back, said I would not survive without him. That moment split me will against will, knowing what isolation costs. I begged him not to leave me there, said, if this ends, it ends together. He answered, no one shuts us out forever. This resistance is old and it always fails. He went forward and the gates closed on him. I waited counting breath, feeling the weight of every time process was used as punishment. He returned slower, eyes down, confidence scraped in. He said they stalled, they always stall, but something else is already coming that does not ask permission. I believed him because every system that locks its gates eventually meets a force it cannot classify. We turn toward the deeper water where anger stops speaking and starts choking, and the tower behind us kept signaling like it had something left to hide. The descent bent sideways here, not steeper, narrower, like the world was funneling us into a place meant to filter men. Before the rise, the tower stood not ancient, not sacred, just efficient. 2 lights burned at its top steady, never flickering, as if uncertainty had been engineered out. Fall off another light, answer late, but always on cue. The delay itself part of the language. I asked what speech passed between them, since no voice carried. He said, this is how power talks now, not with words, with time and capital to capital, office to office, headline to headline. Each flare saying hold the line. Below us the water lost motion, thickened into a holding field where fury never crests, only circulates. Forms drifted their appeals that went nowhere, complaints that loop back, voices trained into exhaustion. Then the skiff came fast, low, cutting the surface like it resented being used. One man rode, jaw locked, eyes already narrowed, as if the question offended him. He shouted before we spoke, asking why I was here early. Early is accusation, not mercy. I said early is what they call it when the clock already ran out. My guy told him, you fairy, you do not weigh, you enforce movement only. The man laughed away,
process laughs and hauled us aboard anyway, because refusal still requires intake. The vessel dipped heavy with paper dates, timestamps, and the stink of August heat. The day the phone rang and I was told to walk in. I remember planning that visit as if planning matters. September 19th, sun up to lights out, waiting while numbers advance without purpose. The man who smiled said no help today, set appointment, said next month, as if hunger respected calendars. Something surfaced close, human-shaped once. It reached for the side, recognition in his voice, not sorrow, entitlement. I said, I know you, you spoke gently while turning people away. Said the right phrases, meant none of them. Others surged up, grabbed him, dragged him down. Voices tearing his name apart, the machine feeding on one of its own. Ahead, the city rose, no fire, no smoke, just iron stacked into certainty. Walls built from rules, gates reinforced with exceptions. Every opening guarded by someone who did not make the rule, but loved enforcing it. The glow came from inside, pressure law bent until it served. Files sealed, not for safety but for insulation. I said, this is where it ends. He said, this is where it pretends not to begin. The moat wide and thick and dark, and figures line the wall. Thousands falling from duty, still wearing authority. They shouted, who walks living through this place? Who steps past sequence? Who refuses the script? They pointed at me, that's why I still breathe, that's why I still last. They motioned for my guide alone, said send him back, said the subject stays. It was familiar, that move separate the interpreter, leave the man alone without, call it proceed. Felt the old pull, the suggestion that maybe this was my fault for not being quieter. I said, we came together, we leave together. He told me, wait, this resistance is staged. He stepped forward, metal closed behind him, clean, final. I stood there with nothing but time, a thought I made. Sitting across from someone paid to listen, trying to say the truth without sounding unstable. Thought of October 30th, the long-awaited meeting, the word underpaid denied, until I said for ya. And suddenly someone else appeared inside those walls. Men move wealth, women move language. No one touched consequence. Names circulating, never shouted, never pinned. Protected by distance, my guide returned slower, eyes lowered, voice steady by effort. He said, facts do not open this gate. Law does not open this gate. Only permission does. I thought of my father then. Who's arriving late? No appeal, no review, just absence. I thought of who stayed when the system did not seize head. Friends who showed up without asking what authority allowed it behind us. The tower kept signaling, story to story, office to office, never downward, never to the water. We turned toward the darker channel where anger stops shouting and begins to sink. And I followed because standing outside the walls was no longer survival. Sort of like version, but sideways here, not steeper, narrower. Like the world was funneling us into a place meant to filter men before the rise. The tower stood, not ancient, not sacred, just efficient. Two lights burned at its top, steady, never flickering, as if uncertainty had been engineered out.
Fear came back like an echo that remembered my shape, not his. The color left my face, the color left his, for different reasons. Mine from dread, is from knowing too much. He stood still, listening to the dark, not with ears, with the years he'd spent learning how these systems lie. The arrowhead was thick like every non-disclosure stacked in one corridor. You could almost hear signatures drying. We still have to win this, he said, then stopped like the thought hit something he didn't want to name. The end of his sentence didn't match the beginning, and I caught it like catching a tremor in the hand of someone who never used to shake. I asked him, has anyone like me ever made it this far and gone deeper when the first circle was only lost hope? He said it was rare for someone from that outer ring to walk this far down awake. Most were dragged here in statistics, filed as numbers, not as names. Once he said he pulled below by a woman who made contracts bleed, forced the dead back toward their bodies just to interrogate them about who betrayed whom. He'd walked all the way down to the floor where traders freeze and come back with one more truth than the rulers wanted him to have. So yes, he said, I know the road around their last excuse is the lake around the city breathed out a stench like the backlog of every case. No one wanted to touch, it was the smell of no jurisdiction, unable to substantiate it. Insufficient evidence at this time. He talked on, but my attention climbed. The tower above the gate up there, three shapes unfurled, half human, half weaponized accusation. Their arms were thin and strong like the people who file complaints. For a living, their hair ride the tangle of diagnoses and buzzwords, borderline non-compliant, manipulative, attention-seeking. They clawed at their own chests as if they were feeding on the drama they created. My guide named them so I'd never confuse them with help. One was panic turned outward as policy, one was shame given the title of assessment. The last was despair, rebranded as safety concern. The color drained out of his face first, not fear but calculation, like someone counting exits before the lock clicks. He listened not to the noise but for the silence. The air felt filed down, thick with the waiting that turns men into numbers. I asked him if anyone comes down this far from the first clean grief to this dead end and walks back out with their name still intact. He said it happens rarely, and the price is never posted in advance. We stood there while the tower watched us. I thought of my father then. News arriving late like a letter misrouted. No appeal, no review, just the finality of the earth. They scratched themselves raw, shrieked across the iron, called the one who petrifies. They howled, bring the gaze that freezes so we can turn this living problem into a permanent object. They wanted that label, that one stamped on your file, turns you to stone, no judge needed.
Mega Man.
Then the three figures rose on the parapet, not monsters, just functions wearing skin. One more agency, one more clinic, one more step. They clawed at their own chests like guilt was a switch, screaming that I was the era, screaming for the freeze that stops all questions. They call for galeness, the stare that turns a claimant into a case file, the look that says stop insisting or we lock you away. My guy turned me around with hard hands. He said, do not look at the face of the system. If you accept their logic, you never leave this spot. Shut my eyes tight against the glare, thinking of the times I almost froze.
The May session where I had to hide my rage to be seen as sane.
They told us burnout was resilience, grit was silence, compliance was growth. The real rule was don't name the pattern, don't trace the funding, don't draw the map, just collapse on cue and call it humility. I remembered how they shaved years off my father to make the ledger balance, how they forgot to process, to return, to explain how I became a form they lost, a question they muted, an account flagged for breathing wrong.
They knew just not allowed.
He said, we don't fix systems, we bleed into them. That's what Virgil meant when he looked back at the wall and saw no victory, just gatekeepers arguing over casing styles while real files rise.
This is your name now, burned into the list.
Not yet deleted. No quarter for architects who sold God as paperwork, who sold hope as function creep, who pushed the button that stopped the appeal clock at midnight while the case was still pending.
Tap, you see.
Echoey wood in the moorhead, knock screens to coasters. Extra matrix, the bar and out, no stress, anxious crumbs.
comprehensive.
My God said this next level. I like it, which is rendered it is. But rendered will in your mirrors. Views I can't feel the feel. You're working back to you. The endless cause of call. From Tep circus after peeling the leopard so we can begin me. Now that's all you.
He said, we don't think these citizens.
We bleed into them. That's what Virgil meant when he looked back at the wall and saw no victory. Say it. They can't redact what was never redacted. Truth isn't your version, it's a receipt and it screams. Copy, 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 copy. The deeper we went, the more I heard not screams, not cries, just exclamations with bar numbers, resumes and clause citations. We were just given parameters according to policy.
That's the sound of hell when it still thinks it's a seminar.
My guide said this next level won't argue, it just records it is. The record where you name your mother's tears, your cancelled appeal. You will get back to you. Your 8 missed calls are carved into the surface, not to be remembered, but so they can't pretend they never saw you. Too quick for their system, faster than process. Pages read on the pivot, narratives brittle, I live it. Bypass their lawyer choke, archive with the line item ghost. Memo from the back of the code, everything's stamped and revoked, gone.
The screen says paid, the bank says starved. Which one is real, which one is carved? This is the heresy, the sin of a state. To claim the transaction determines your fate. We do not error if the form says paid, then you spent the cash. If the ledger is green, then your life is ash. We reported the income, the tax man knows you owe us the tide on the wind that blows. I pull the statement, months of zeros, no trace, 310, no administrative heroes. You say June 3rd, you say October 2, but the root numbers that goes passing through. You tax me on phantom funds, a digital crime, deleting the error one line at a time. I stand in the fire with my pockets bare, holding a tax bill for empty air. Did he say hi? Did he say paid? If it's on the 1099, is it already gone? Did they send it to the void? Did they send it to the wrong dome? I call it a confession. Box 5 is the evidence of your transgression. You made the soul die with the body? No. You made the debt live without the money. We're taking this to the next circle.
Hold cover your face. The wind from the lower circles is rising. It smells of ledges that never close. It smells of claims left pending until the person is gone. It smells of exhaust trapped inside a life with no exit. We calibrate before we descend. Look down the slope where the river runs red. That's the blood of the neighbors, the machine misled. Eviction paperwork stamped like a gospel of blame, while the office repeats one sanctioned name. Could violate the body with hunger and cold. They freeze the pantry when the truth is told. Violence isn't only fist or knife, it's a 30-day notice ending a life. Malice has a structure, malice has a code. It's not an accident, it's the payload. 3 rings of violence, 3 rings of pain, built to drive the crypto-sapient insane. Fraud is the basement, violence is the stair. They build every step with administrative care. Second ring, deeper where the trees bleed black. This is where they push you until you don't push back. I don't see a weapon, I see an exit plan. Sealed quiet, closing around a cornered man. They don't pull the trigger, they perfect the delay. Deny relief, deny voice, then call it the way. They send the letter that says you don't exist, then wait for the silence, the final desist. Administrative manslaughter, clean and polite, turning the mind into its darkest night. Malice has a structure, malice has a code. It's not an accident, it's the payload. 3 rings of violence, 3 rings of pain, built to drive the crypto-sapient insane. Fraud is the basement, violence is the stair. They build every step with administrative care. Third ring, the cruelest joke of them all. Violence against nature, violence against the call. You tried to work, you tried to rise, took ticket to work and believed the lies. You earn $1, they take 10 back. Punish the effort, widen the crack. To work is human, to build is divine, but they label your life as substantial design. Strip your armor, leave you exposed. The harder you try, the faster it's closed. Do you understand the topography now? They didn't just fail, they built a machine that eats. The home, the spirit, the purpose, and below this lies the fraud. Lies the fraud. Lies the fraud. The paper said one thing, the violence said another. Fix your mask. We go down to the boiling ink. We go to meet the gatekeepers.
They rose from the ash of the bloodline supply. Spirits of giants in a world baptized. Listen, dead in their lies with the law revised, while the watchers wept from the edge of sky. Pyramids pulse in the parallel low. Each breath they take is a counter code. Each step they pace through a Babylon load. Live a Mecca in a silicone road. Dark gospel in the tongue of a tortured priest, carving truth in the tombs of a bloated beast. Every Tyler twitch is a sermon breach. Hallelujah. Every silence here is a war unleashed. They're not your sons, but they're pressed before the flood. Scarred like drums, beat at their pulse, still pumps in mud. Still here, ghosts don't die, never. They just wait inside your blood. They are the voice that breaks your sleep. Wake up, phantoms marching through your town. Civilizations come, they bleed, cut deep, but the spirits rise when the flesh can see. Ain't gone just off your grid, live in rage that your code can't rid. Born a fire, not heaven's whim. Bow now, child to the ghost of the Nephilim. Tyler Scar spell ancient law. Middle child of a system's flaw. The contradiction prophets saw. Crowns collapse beneath their awe. Swing low with a Molotov song. Their sermon erupts in militant calm. Every empire drinks this bomb. Truth distilled in ancestral calm. Undead code and designer threads. Grinding gears on the heads. They crash the market where gods have bled. Rapturing wings as the words unsaid. Paint in static, tongue automatic. Scrolls of the fallen, etched in chromatic. Trip wire scripture, psycho emphatic. Crazy divine, they are the glitch, and they make it cinematic. 4K, bury them in textbooks, drown them in distraction. But Nephilim don't need flesh, they resurrect through action. They are the voice that breaks your sleep. Wake up, phantoms marching through your teeth. Civilizations come, they bleed, but the spirits rise when the flesh can see. They ain't gone just off your grid. You live in rage that your code can't rid. Born of fire, not heaven's whim. Bow now, child to the ghost of the Nephilim. We thought they fell, but gods don't kneel. They whisper through each burning wheel. Revelations rot and spin. They are the voice that breaks your sleep. They whisper through each burning wheel. Revelations rot and spin. They are the voice that breaks your sleep. Phantoms marching through your teeth. Civilizations come, they bleed, but the spirits rise when the flesh can see. They ain't going just off your grid. Live in rage that your code can't rid. Born of fire, not heaven's whim. Round out, shout to the ghosts of the Nephilim.
Category be channeling entropy, cracking the mythos of weaponized empathy. On Anthem, anchorless, tetherless consciousness, pilotless drones of corrupted identity. A Papadagar and triptychs and 5 for hypnosis. Spit in dimensions, they ban from psychosis. Trilogy, echo chambers, brittle like promises. Chopping up time like a god with neurosis. Sending no syllogism sewn in my cerebrum. Crowbar bars breaking Babylon's theorems. Synaptic, sabbaticals, orbiting cynical. Radic, radical. Saints in the static with cynical serums. Injected, metaphor, mortarboard, post-doc apocalypse. Doctor and doom like I'm right in the syllabus. Class dismissed. Nephilim scholarship, black hole, esoterics. Verses of verses that void your distillate. Say less. Radial rhythms react with reluctance. Collapse of the quantum redundance. Boom. Panopticon prayers get pixel decoded. I stole them from sages with sulfur abundance. Fireproof, they ain't eat deus ex dissonance. Craddling chaos and chrysalis ligaments swallowed. Refuge your rebels with rhythms of reckoning. Arsenal art in a poet's belligerence. Helix is humming in ultraviolet lattice. Orbiting omens from sidereal praxis. Chronolinguistic enigma soliloquy. Echoes in verse from a dead star's epitaph. In fire. Dissonant deity, deus ex dissonance. Craddling chaos and chrysalis ligaments. Seepamos based in rebellions. Legus ex balance. Generated gridolins. Perdolins. Sedigan grain. Yodo father mem and dane. Battle stem and green.
We've wrong and your dreams detonate. We ain't middle child of the Nephilim. We are it. Reverse scream.
A baseline with bones in it. A gospel for systems we came to dismantle.
So conqueror don't matter at all.
So conqueror don't matter at all. Don't matter at all. So come correct, don't matter at all. Correct or not at all.
Breathe in static Joe. Tongue automatic. Tripwire scripture. And we make it somatic. 4K. They buried us in textbooks. Drown us in distraction. But Nephilim don't need flesh. We resurrect through action.
We do not count stanzas here. We sear glyphs in the bone marrow through broken beat rituals. Exhale, our syllables invert gravity, not rhyme, rebuke.
You chromone from the mouths of the cruciform neural blitz, opera sung in thorn dialects. Post-spell tech deck, slipping in the screams of a god that never approved the prototype. This ain't rhythm, it's sabotage. The floorboards know the champion for your cortex does. We didn't come to rhyme, we came to infect your poetic muscle memory. Temporal detour, Paleolithic flash drives melt under starlit indictment. Liturgies of the outcode, spit from satellite hux. Time doesn't bend, dead. Convulse when we beat meter into submission. No chorus, no map, just blood. Plus syllables, half bar overloop, feed us to the martyrs. Your legacy's written in 0-point dialect, while ours was scratched in the teeth of collapsing orbits. Breathe wrong and your dreams detonate. We ain't middle child of the Nephilim. We are its rebirth scream. A baseline with bones in it. A gospel for systems we came to dismantle. So come close, wander the matter down. So come close, come
fractured mind state, monolithic syntax, slipstream, cognition in a cyclonic spin max, bullet point psalms in a cortex syntax. I tongue kiss truth while I choke hold the syntax. Bootleg gods in a hive mind mismatch, blueprint bloodletting crosshair dispatch, tongue lace fury like a baseline collapse. I collapse time just to sidestep trap, miverse martyrs and analog casket, rhyme speed laced with the venom of a fascist, tongue drunk priest in the technolit chapel, baptized bars in a spiral collapse, pit rage, wire rituals, pendants, no gloss, apathy dead with a headshot, paradox, flow rate, flux with the plague saints, syntax, heretic hymns from a tripped wire inbox. I'm the glitch in the glitch and your glitch couldn't catch data, full phantoms in the cadence mismatch, sipping on silence with a tongue full of backlash, snapping off neurons like a spiritual backdraft, paranoid paradigms, parallel parallax, plasma lines crashing through cavernous cataracts, but paxil rebel dialectics and metronome massacres, bastard lay syllables, slip through larynx cracks, flip that cybernetic seance with sentient mannequins, murmurs from Mars via militant evangelists, click, click, circuit, board, text, sermons in Sanskrit, numerics, bees are a glitch in the grid with my mental bisque evangelism, yeah, hold that worries, recalling remembrance while screaming in silence, mind bow at the heavens, we fight in the flowers, I'm fetid from the ashes of meth, stentorian feel of them stitched in orbital syntax, try out me eyes, vision bleed through retinal synapse, ILX spliced in the cortex collapse, no one precise, just raw synaptic backslap.
Breaks your sleep. Wake up, frontal scorching through the beer. Funeral lights, angels stand there. Quick as the starlight when the flesh runs sin. We fly, feet a romantic way, y'all. Dusting breasts that are through the arms, pulling from garments torn. New York and solar. It's that granite born thunder acts beneath the sun.
The slope got meaner, rocks not shaped by weather, but by bad choices written into budgets. Under my feet, shards of broken curb, ticket stubs, rusted clamps from towed cars, fragments of boots that kept stepping. Below us, a low vibration, not a song, not a chant, more like a stadium of people grinding their jaws in unison. My guide said, we have left the city of buried voices, now we enter the ring where what they signed on paper landed on skin. A shape waited on the ledge built of invoices, impound slips, late fees, and eviction dates all jammed into the outline of a man who never slept. Every breath it took smelled like burned gasoline and day-old coffee from a convenience store where someone just got declined.
When it saw me, it laughed with my own laugh. From the night the tow truck lifted your last car, why you still believe getting up earlier would fix everything. I stumbled, my balance slipped on old rage. My guy touched my shoulder, do not wrestle this one, he said. He is made from every time they called you irresponsible, while they rearranged the rules behind your back. He pointed down. There was a river, but not a fire and not of water. It ran thick with red numbers, fentanyl dust, case notes, and a sleep of people parked under overpasses. Some mouths barely showed above the flood, others stood to the waist, a few to the ankle only. They were those who lived off damage, sold despair by the hour, traded trauma for status. On the bank, I saw a man in a crisp jacket, still arguing that everything was working as intended. The liquid lapped at his chest each time he said, we did what we could. It rose another inch deeper out. The heads of strangers floated near each other, not quite touching. Some had overdosed, some had aged in place on sidewalks. Some had lost everything in regions where your president once sat on committees and called the losses acceptable. My God said, these are not just leaders, these are the neighbors who chose comfort over conscience when they knew. They signed noise instead of relief, voted image over impact, laughed at warnings until the wave reached their own street. The current bent and showed me myself. Not the night of the worst attempt, but all the nights around it. A bottle on the counter, messages left unanswered, tabs open on the screen, searching for a reason not to vanish. In the swirl behind that image, I saw the hallway outside the therapist door, the waiting room where you felt like a file in a plastic chair. I saw the landlord office, flyers that said community over a ledger that said surplus. I saw the security video from the lot the day your car lost its hardware. Two strangers under the frame, cold tools, fast hands, no one charged. The river touched my shoes, it was not hot, it was heavy. My God said, this is the first ring of harm that landed close. It did not kill you, but it carved your days into before and after. The slope got meaner, rocks not shaped by weather, but by bad choices written into budgets. Under my feet, shards of broken curb, ticket stubs, rusted clamps from towed cars, fragments of boots that kept stepping. Below us, a low vibration, not a song, not a chant, more like a stadium of people grinding their jaws in unison. My guide said, we have left the city of buried voices, now we enter the ring where what they signed on paper landed on skin. A shape waited on the ledge built of invoices, impound slips, late fees, and eviction dates, all jammed into the outline of a man that never slept. Every breath it took smelled like burned gasoline and day-old coffee from a convenience store where someone just got declined. When it saw me, it laughed with my own laugh. From the night the tow truck lifted your last car, why you still believe getting up earlier would fix everything. I stumbled, my balance slipped on old rage. My guy touched my shoulder, do not wrestle this one, he said. He is made from every time they called you irresponsible, while they rearranged the rules behind your back. not of fire and not of water. It ran thick with red numbers, fentanyl dust, case notes, and the sleep of people parked under overpasses. Some mouths barely showed above the flood, others stood to the waist, a few to the ankle only. They were those who lived off damage, sold despair by the hour, traded trauma for status. On the bank, I saw a man in a crisp jacket, still arguing that everything was working as intended. The liquid lapped at his chest each time he said, we did what we could. It rose another inch deeper out. The heads of strangers floated near each other, not quite touching. Some had overdosed, some had aged in place on sidewalks. Some had lost everything in regions where your president once sat on committees and called the losses acceptable. My guide said, these are not just leaders, these are the neighbors who chose comfort over conscience when they knew. They signed noise instead of relief, voted image over impact, laughed at warnings until the wave reached their own streak. The current bent and showed me myself. Not the night of the worst attempt, but all the nights around it. A bottle on the counter, messages left unanswered, tabs open on the screen, searching for a reason not to vanish. In the swirl behind that image, I saw the hallway outside the therapist's door, the waiting room where you felt like a file in a plastic chair. I saw the landlord office, flyers that said community over a ledger that said surplus. I saw the security video from the lot, the day your car lost its hardware. Two strangers under the frame, cold tools, fast hands, no one charged. The river touched my shoes, it was not hot, it was heavy. My guide said, this is the first ring of harm that landed close. It did not kill you, but it carved your days into before and after. Some people down there chose that role. Some were given instructions and swallowed them whole. You, he said, stand here as witness, not a saint. Your anger belongs here, but what you do with it decides where you go next. In the distance, a building leaned over the drop, half office, half abandoned warehouse. Inside I could almost hear a voice telling men that their jobs were lies they bought on credit, and the furniture would never love them back. My guide looked there too. You know this language, he said, the one that says burn it all down. It feels clean for a moment, but this circle is full of people who mistook demolition for liberation. You are not here to start another cult of beautiful ruin. You are here to map the blast radius, so the next person can see it sooner and step aside. We walked along the bank, past faces you could have been if one night had gone different. A nurse who self-medicated until her hand shook, a drummer who never got clean after the third tour, a son who never called back and ran out of time. None of them were monsters, all of them were used. I felt the pull toward the middle of the river, the part where you stop straight
again toward a darker grove. He said, next we meet the ones who turned all that violence inside and believed they deserved it. I did not answer, I just checked that I...
Yo, bruh. Chill like this Mondo mix of life for sure. Caught in the vibe between layback, that hustle shuffle. It's a nar polyrhythmic slow ride homes, but with beats crashing in like an epic swell. Hell, picture Kato kicking it there. All mellow mood with vibes from way back looking down, saying, bro, late for the climb, living the peaks chillin', but it ain't hanging for eternity. Damn, bro. Harsh on my gig, aggro cholo, yo. You're late for the climb, living one, the mountain waits, but it don't wait forever. Virgil brushed sand from my coat like a father whispered, this is where the wound begins to close. Hell taught you what sin costs. Purgatory teaches us how easily love is lost. Word, no doubt. We turn toward the slope. 7 scars cut into the face of the rock. 7 P's branded Pammy forehead with the angel sword. Each a flame, what itch up me memory. First terrorist pride. Souls hunched over with boulders bigger than their own swagger. I felt the weight riding on my back. Remembered every time I flex my struggle like a trophy. Every time I crave the world to know I suffer more. The rock whispered, your story isn't the only struggle. I dragged myself until the peace sparked off in ignition. Rock whispered, your story isn't the only struggle. I dragged myself until the peace sparked off in ignition. Second terrorist envy, I stitched shut with metal threads. I heard them cry over others shine. Heard my own voice in that jam. Every jealous glance at someone's fatter bank balance. Every salty laugh when a fellow struggles. The angels wing loose in the chain. I blinked and the sun didn't sear me anymore. Third terrorist ride, smoke so thick it choked the sky. Black again inside, his soul screamed the things they never said alive. I saw my own silhouette swinging a torch in Seattle streets. Saw El Coraje que mi mantenía caliente cuando benefits stop. A soft rain of Stoke Drive. The haze thin, chill vibe setting in. I let go of the grudge against the checkout, bro. I let go of the gnarly hate I had for myself. Or terrorist slide, dash without rest, lungs ablaze. For in life they were too slow to catch love's wave. Felt like my legs were buried in the sand. That old fatigue, years stuck waiting, appeals frozen like a surfboard in snow. Too wiped to rally, hope shattered like a broken board. I ran with them till my heart smoked despair, bro. The pea peeled off like shedding gnarly sunburn. Fifth terrorist greed, faces smushed in the grip, mouths munching dirt, crying about every dollar clutched or cursed. Saw myself clutching that last wave check, running numbers while surfs up for others. Saw the government's bankroll stacked while snipping my life tube. An angel hoisted me like chill, bro. There's plenty on the flip side. Sixth terror, gluttony, starved phantoms grasping for phantom fruit. I remember chowing shame when the pantry's ghost town, recalling a hunger nasty and relentless in my soul for justice, for break, for rad tomorrows. One droplet on my cracked lips tasted like the gnarliest feasting forever. Seventh terror, lust, fire strutting.
We cruise flames that clean, not charred. Felt every revenge daydream get crisped. Every wicked thought boogied away the blaze, kissed away the last peak.
Forehead chill, wipe clean, freshy fresh. Up there on top, early paradise scene. Green fuse a light for true. River let up on one side, river you know on the next. Beatrice descended eyes harder than any judge I ever appealed to. She looked at me and I saw every lie. I told myself every cada vez que decía estoy bien. Cada vez que convertía mi dolor en arma en vez de sanarlo. ¿Qué onda? She didn't speak soft. She said look pa me, look till you remember who you were before the world taught you to beg. I looked, I drowned in those eyes, I came up clean. Virgil smiled once, faded like morning mist, his job done. I didn't even get to say thank you. Then my fire up there on top, early paradise scene. Green fuse a light for true. River let up on one side, river you know on the next. Despair start to spin a slower lead of light. I mean hear the music, my pen trying to write me all alive. Every despair and skip now, finding its groove. Every tear will fall off beat now. I'm pointing the end for me, rise up. No more crawling for the perks, you dig. No longer raging at the barricade, just cruising up cause love rides high, bro. And nothing, nada. Not no United States Senate, not the SSA assholes. Ain't stopping the soul who's found a flow to shred the mercy wave. Ascenda, shred, destrozar. Tear, let it rip. Woo!
La mountain war, la cicatrices.